Hello friends, in this video we'll talk about Kali Linux setup. So what is a Kali Linux? So Kali Linux is one of the most popular operating system which contains lots of hacking, penetration testing and digital forensics tool. So this operating system is used by penetration testers, digital investigators and incident response team, even by a security administrator. So this system is open source system and contains lot of tools. So we'll need this system in order to test the different vulnerabilities in different web applications. You can download this operating system from this link. So now let's see that how we can install the system inside our VirtualBox.
Now let's see that how we can install Kali Linux inside VirtualBox. So right now I am at kali.org. So this is the official website of Kali Linux made by Offensive Security. So now go to downloads. So depending upon the operating system you are using, you can download one of them, like Kali 64-bit for 64-bit operating system and Kali 32-bit for 32-bit operating system. So there are some also lighter version available of Kali Linux, like Kali 64-bit Lite, Kali 32-bit Lite. So I recommend you to download the full-fledged version of Kali Linux from here. So I have already downloaded the Kali Linux, which you can see in my desktop. So here is my Kali Linux ISO file. So now what I will going to do, I am installing Kali Linux inside the VirtualBox. So here is my VirtualBox manager, you can see. So I have already downloaded and installed Kali Linux, but now let's install a fresh copy of a Kali Linux. So in order to install any virtual machine inside VirtualBox, we have to click on new. Okay, then it asks for the name. So let's give it the name Kali Linux demo. Now depending upon your Kali Linux ISO, so here you can see that my Kali Linux ISO is of 64-bit. So we have to select here in the version 64-bit. Okay, and the Kali Linux is Debian based, so let it be Linux. Now click on next. Now it asks for the memory size you want to give. So I recommend you to give at least 4 GB. If your system contains 4 GB RAM, then you can give half of it to Kali Linux. So I'm giving 4 GB here. Okay. Now it asks for a virtual hard drive you want to give. So by default it's this, create a virtual hard disk now. Click on create. Next. Next. Okay, so now it asks you for the size you want to give. So I recommend you to give at least 10 or 15 GB to our Kali Linux. Okay, now everything looks fine. So here is our virtual machine which is created, Kali Linux demo. Now let's start this virtual machine by clicking on start. So when for the first time you will start this machine, it asks you for the location of ISO file. So just click on this icon and give the location of Kali Linux ISO file. So it's present in my desktop. So here is that file. So I have selected this file and click on open and start. Okay, so this is the main menu of the Kali Linux. So this menu will come for the first time when you will start the Kali Linux. Now you can use Kali Linux in the two ways. The first one is that you can install the Kali Linux. Then the second one is to use live. So in the live mode, the Kali system will boot it up and you can use the Kali Linux. But once you shut down the system, your data will not be saved because we will not install the operating system, we will use it live. So I recommend you to install this operating system. So in order to install this operating system, go to install and hit enter. So the first one, it's asked for the language. So let it be English. Okay, then it asks for the location. So India, then key map to use American English. Now it's loading some additional components and we have to wait for a time being. Okay, so hostname should be Kali, then leave it as empty. So now it asks you for the password you want to give. So by default, the password for every Linux system is TOOR, T-O-O-R. So I'm setting up the same password, T-O-O-R. So now here's the complex things comes in, partition disks. So for the new users, so I recommend you to select the first option, which is use entire disk, hit enter again. Okay, now it asks us like we want to save all the files in one partition or we want to separate the files like in home and different directories. So if you are a new user, so first select the first option, hit enter, then now select this option, finish partitioning, and write changes to disk, hit enter again, write changes to disk. Okay, so now it creates an ext4 file system for our virtual machine. And here you can see now our installation process has been started. It will take some little bit time, so I'm pausing this video and I'll resume it once my installation part has been completed. Okay, so now it asks you for a network mirror. So why it's asking? Because it will update some packages to ensure that your Kali Linux operating system will be in the newer state. So use a network mirror. If you want to use it, click on next, leave it as empty. So it will scan the mirror and it will configure its apt packages list. So now you can see that it's installing grub bootloader, which helps Kali Linux or any of Linux operating system to boot. Okay, so now it asks us for installing the grub bootloader to the master record. Yes, we want to install it on a master record. So select yes and hit enter. Now it asks us that on which file system or file partition we want to install the grub. So select this one /dev/sta because this contains our file system. So hit enter. Now it's here you can see that it's installing grub on /dev/sta. So once it's installed the grub, it will update the grub. Now it's finishing the installation. Okay, now here you can see that our installation has been completed. Now click on continue and it will restart our Kali Linux. And it's removing its running live packages. Here you can see. So now here you can see that our Kali Linux system has been restarted. Okay, so the username is root and the password is toor, T-O-O-R, which we set while installing the system. Okay, so right now we are inside the Kali Linux. Let me go to the full screen mode. So if you go to applications menu, so here you can see a list of tools divided into different categories, like tools used for information gathering like Nmap, Maltego and ZenMap, then tools for vulnerability analysis, web application analysis, password attacks, forensics and so on. So if you are new to Linux operating system and if you haven't used any kind of Linux system before, and if you haven't used Kali Linux also, so let me give you a short introduction that how we can use this system Kali and the Linux by command line. So this is the terminal of the Kali Linux. So the ls command will list out all the directories where we are right in. So whenever our Kali Linux is started and we open this terminal, we are just prompted inside root directory. Here you can see that we are inside root. So pwd command is used for printing out the working directory. So if you want to create a new directory, so the command is mkdir and any directory name like demo. So now if you just hit ls, you can see that a directory named as demo has been created. So now in order to change the directory, what we can do, just write cd followed by the directory name. So cd means change directory, and right now we are inside the demo, and here you can see. So now if we do ls, we'll see nothing. So now if you want to go back one directory, then what you can do, just write down cd space followed by 2 dots. Now you can see that now we came back again into previous directory, that's root. So now our installation part has been completed, and in the next video I'll show you that how we can install Metasploitable to Linux inside our virtual machine in order to complete our testing lab environment. So thanks for watching this video.
Hello friends, in this video we will talk about Metasploitable Linux setup. So what is Metasploitable Linux? So Metasploitable Linux is actually a vulnerable Linux platform made for security testing. So this Metasploitable Linux contains lot of vulnerabilities which attackers or ethical hackers and penetration testers can use to exploit in order to testing their security skills. So in order to setting up our testing lab, we also need this Metasploitable Linux, and you can download this Metasploitable Linux operating system from this link. So now let's see that how we can install this Metasploitable Linux inside our VirtualBox.
So here is that URL from which you can download the Metasploitable to Linux. So once you download it, it will be downloaded in the form of a zip file. So here is that zip file. So I have extracted the files inside it, and here you can see, so these are the files which we need to install our operating system. So now let's open the VirtualBox. So right now I'm inside the VirtualBox manager. So in order to create a new virtual machine, click on new and give it name. So Metasploitable Linux 2. Now click on next. Now it asks you for the RAM you want to give. So 1 GB is more than sufficient. Click on next. And here we have to give the location of that files. So click over here, use an existing virtual hard drive. Click on this icon and give the location of our Metasploitable file. So here is that file you can see with .vmdk extension. Now select this file and click on open. Now click on create. So here you can see that our virtual machine has been created. Now let's start this machine. So here you can see that it's setting up all the partitions including the file system. And it's starting its services like Apache 2 service, MySQL service, PostgreSQL service, and all the servers. Okay, so now by default the username and the password for Metasploitable Linux is msfadmin, and the password is same, msfadmin. So right now we are inside the shell of Metasploitable to Linux. So in order to check its IP address, just write down ifconfig and hit enter. and here you can see that the IP address is 10.0.2.15. So this was how we can install Metasploitable tool Linux inside our virtual machine, and thanks for watching this video.
Hello everyone. Now let's talk about Nmap. So Nmap stands for Network Mapper, and it's one of the best open source tool used for scanning the network. With the help of Nmap, we can scan open ports and the services running on them, including their version number. So the Nmap is also used for searching the operating system that is running on the remote host, and with the help of Nmap, we can perform various scans including service scan, aggressive scan, and with the help of aggressive scan we can fetch a much more detailed information including our target, operating system, and the metadata, and some additional information like internal files. Now let's see how we can use Nmap in order to perform various scans.
Now let's see that how we can find open ports and their version number by using Nmap. So in order to use Nmap, we have to start our Kali Linux, and here you can see that right now I'm inside my Kali Linux instance. So in order to start Nmap, we first have to open the terminal. Let me open it up. So in order to start Nmap, we just have to write Nmap followed by the website name or the IP address. So let me just write down here. Okay, so once you write the website name, you can also write a particular port, and let's scan all the ports which are open on this website along with their services. Now let me hit enter, and here you can see that our Nmap scan has been started, and it's my Nmap version 7.40. It's a newer version because I'm using Kali Linux 2, and it shows us the detail of port, its state, and along with its services. So you can look at here that on port 22 the state is open, the port 22 is open, and the service running on port 22 is SSH. So same, you can see HTTP service, Kerbos, HTTPS, and some MySQL service, and few other services. So this was the basic usage of Nmap. Now what if you want to scan the version number, or you want to enumerate the version number of a particular service? So why enumerating the version number is important? So as a penetration tester, your main goal is to find the version number, because once you get the version number, a penetration tester can use some tools or can search the particular exploit corresponds to that version number. So that's why scanning the version number is must. So there is one scan in Nmap called as version scan. So let's see how we can use it. So we have to write Nmap -S and capital V. So S is for steel and this V is for version number followed by the website name. So you can even write the IP address instead of writing the website name. Hit enter. So these kind of scans take little bit time. Okay, so let's see the result. So it's here is a port, then the next column is of state, then services, and here you can see additional column of version. So this output is same, but here is the thing. So here is a service SSH, and you can just read its version, open SSH 6.2, then HTTP version, then MySQL, and Apple. So now it's giving us an additional information that this website is hosted on Mac. Here you can see Mac OS. So this was all about this service scan. So the best practice of a system administrator here is to hide the version number of the running services. So now let's talk about aggressive scan in Nmap. So aggressive scan is one of the most powerful scan of an Nmap, because aggressive scan contains all the features of different scan, or you can say that aggressive scan is a combination of different scan. So by aggressive scan, one can find the services, version number, metadata, disallowed directories, and even the routing also, DNS servers names also, and some additional stuff. So now let's see how we can use aggressive scan in Nmap. So in order to use it, we again have to write Nmap hyphen capital A followed by the website name. So this scan, aggressive scan, take little bit time, so we have to be patient. Okay, now scan has been completed. Now let's analyze its result. Okay, so here you can see that first of all, it has enumerated the SSH public host keys, then the PHP version also of port 80 HTTP, and here you can see the additional information like HTTP title, the website title, along with the SSL server detail. So if I scroll down, you can see a lot of juicy details along with the name server, domain name server, and it has also find that the operating system on which this website is hosted, so it's hosted on Apple OS X. And if I scroll down, here you will see or find the trace route detail. So here you can see the trace route. So this scan can perform a best information gathering for our target. So this was all about Nmap and the basic usage of Nmap. Now, thanks for watching this video.